ladies and gentlemen, please help me give a warm welcome to my buddy, AJ Grill.
Hey, keep it going for Papa Holman, everybody. And how about that old bag of mud, Donnie Townsend? Keep it going for him, too, huh? It's funny. Donnie drove me to my second open mic ever. And I remember walking home that night and thinking, like, if I don't have a career doing this by 30, I'll quit. And I'm turning 31 next month. So this is the swan song, folks. You're seeing it right here tonight. I turned 30 this year. I turned 30. Now, clap who's in their 30s. Clap if you're in your 30s. Anybody? Okay, very good. It's always sad claps, you know? Those claps used to want to be astronauts, I think, you know? Like, it's fun, man. 30's not cool. It's not. Everyone tries to tell me. Like, all my friends that were in their 30s tried to hype me up for my 30s. Maybe you guys had the same thing. Like, they all said the same thing. Like, AJ, your 30s are great. Your 30s are like your 20s, but with money. But I know that's not true for me specifically, okay? Because in the daytime, I work at a nonprofit. Yeah, it's right there in the name, folks. Nonprofit, okay? You understand? You follow along? And like, also, that saying just doesn't make any sense. Your 30s are like your 20s, but with money. So what you're telling me is I'm going to blow all my money in my 30s? That's what we're done with any money in my 20s, okay? Do you guys know how bad I wanted a $400 potato cannon at 22? Bad, really bad. It's called a Moon Cannon MX-1. It can launch a spud 150 yards. 150 yards. I didn't want one of them, I wanted 4 of them, okay? One for me and my 3 closest best friends. I want us to be the vegan assassins. Just taking out frat bros from 150 yards on campus, you know? Just like, another Blackhawk jersey down, dude. Hell yeah. We bagged a Tanner. Fuck yeah, dude. That's cool, man. I started working out again at 30. And working out as an adult is hard, dude. Like, I don't know if you guys if you guys remember like being a kid, but how did you work out as a kid? You were just a kid. That was it, you know? You were born, all of a sudden 4 or 5 years later, you're tooling around on a jungle gym, you know? But you can't go tooling around on a jungle gym as an adult. If you do that, all of a sudden you're not allowed within 5,000 feet of a school or whatever, you know? Like, even the fun ways to work out as a kid aren't cool as an adult. Like, I played a lot of basketball in the driveway as a kid, you know? You guys ever seen like a group of teens playing basketball? Like, it always looks cool, you know? There's always like one kid making more shots than all the other ones. And every time I see that, I'm like, wow, look at this kid. He's probably going to play in college. And he's not, okay? That's just a teen playing basketball, folks, all right? You guys ever seen a group of dudes in their 40s playing pickup basketball? Doesn't look cool. There's always like one little one. He's shaped like a minion, you know? He's got those same rec specs on. He's running around trying too hard. Every time I see that, I'm like, look at these functional alcoholics. Good for you, you know? Sweat it out, boys. You should, you know? Because like even the kids that don't want to work out. Like I grew up like around all the skateboard kids, all right? And like they didn't try in gym class, okay? But you guys ever skateboarded? That's a fucking workout, dude. Yeah, hell yeah. But you can't skateboard over the age of 35. If you skateboard over the age of 35, you're either Tony Hawk or a felon, okay? There's no in between. You know? I was running this joke past a comedian friend of mine. I was like, the premise of the joke is like kids and adults can't work out the same way. It's not cool, whatever. And he's like, AJ, that's not true. He goes, I work out like a kid. I ride a bicycle. And I was like, yeah, I guess you ride a bicycle. But kids and adults don't ride bikes the same way, all right? When I was a kid, we used to ride bikes. You know what we used to do? We used to hose down my parents' garage, ride them real fast, and do tail whips, all right? One time, I rode a little too fast, went right through the drywall, broke my arm. That's how kids ride bikes, all right? You guys know how adults ride bikes? They dress up like flavored condoms. And they go interrupt traffic for no reason at all. And then they post about it on Facebook. Admittedly more childish, not the same thing is what I'm saying. You know? I also started working out. Like I don't want like a beach bod in my 30s. That's not my goal. But I just know like one day I'm gonna get old and they're gonna put me in like an old folks home, you know. And like I don't want to be the guy at the old folks home where they walk in my room and they can't get me out of the chair. Like I want to be the guy at the old folks home where they walk in my room and they're like, "Oh shit, where'd he go? Again? No! We got a code red. The vegan assassin is loose. I repeat, the vegan assassin is loose." Working out is good for me too because I don't go to the doctor because I am a man. Listen, they say an apple a day keeps a doctor away. You know what else will? Minimum wage, okay? All right? Keep them pretty far away, as a matter of fact. If you don't have money, the doctor's bullshit, dude, okay? It is. It's bullshit. Last time I went to the doctor was December of 2019. I was going to go home for the holidays, whatever. I wasn't feeling good. So I went in, and they tested me for both influenza A and influenza B, all right? Tested negative for both influenza A and influenza B. And that's when I had a medical doctor look me in the eye and say, "Well, I guess it's just a case of the cruds." And then I paid her $122, okay? And that is the angriest I've ever stormed out of a doctor's office that was inside of a CVS, okay? Yeah, you guys ever been in in a gas station? Like, what? There's a Subway in here? That Subway is where I go to the doctor, people, okay? Yeah, you gotta storm out angry next to the beef jerky. It's pretty tough. I don't know if you guys have been there before. I shouldn't even call it a doctor. It's not technically a doctor. It's called the Minute Clinic. You guys been to the Minute Clinic? Yeah, a few of us, okay. This side of the room has health insurance. Got it, okay, very good. All right, just me and two poor guys in the front. Beautiful, okay. That's cool. If you've never been to the Minute Clinic, I think you would be surprised to find out that at the Minute Clinic, it doesn't mean that the doctor sees you swiftly, all right? What it means is when the doctor finally does see you, they have exactly 60 seconds to diagnose you at the Minute Clinic. And that was wild, dude. That was all like pre-COVID and shit. And I will say this about COVID. I miss the masks. I miss the masks just a little bit, okay? I do, all right? And not for any political reason or health concern. I miss the masks because I am a farter. But I'm not just like your regular gassy guy, okay? I could melt one of these monitors from here right now, okay? I'm probably lactose intolerant, but I live in this godforsaken city, okay? You understand? Cheese on everything, you know? But it was incredible, dude. March, April of 2020, you guys all put the masks on. I could drop ass anywhere. It was incredible, okay? You guys were all walking around what's that smell? Is that my breath? Oh my gosh. I should floss, you know? But here's what, and I mean this so sincerely. Here's how I feel. I feel like us farters, I feel like we get discriminated against, okay? I do. I feel like we get discriminated against. Because think about it. A sneeze and a fart. Two very biologically similar processes, okay? But if someone sneezes, what do you say? Bless you. But if I eat one too many jalapeno poppers and fart all around the dinner party, I'm uninvited next year. What's going on, huh? We're just mad that farts smell a little bit? Is that what it is? Do you guys know that sneezes come out of your face at 100 miles an hour? Compared to 100,000 germs that linger in the air for 30 minutes. And we're patting each other on the back for that? Absolutely not. No fucking way, all right? If one of you sneezes in this room tonight, you should apologize to everyone and fucking leave, okay? We don't want your crud, okay? Listen, all I'm saying is no one's ever gotten the flu from a fart, okay? No one's ever gotten a cold from flatulence exposure. And there's always one smart who's oh, AJ, you get pink eye from a fart. You get pink eye from a fart. It's yeah, well, if you were that close to a butt, you knew what you were doing, okay? Sign that nonverbal contract, dude, you know? All right, ass-eating crowd. Noted. Good. Got it. Early show, not an ass-eating crowd. Surprise, surprise. I had an old woman faint when I said that. It was horrible. That's cool, man. One thing I did like about the pandemic is they canceled my family reunion. Mwah, love that, okay? If we could just get COVID-19 like every other year around May 23rd, that'd be pretty sweet for me specifically, okay? I grew up in Iowa, and so here's like a little glimpse into what my family reunion was like. The last time I went back for my family reunion, we pulled in my grandmother's driveway, and that's when I got to see my cousin's brand new pair of truck nuts. Very good, yes. His truck nuts were blue, if you were curious, okay? The only color they should be. Those fellas aren't fucking, you know? That's a blue balls joke this side of the room. Keep up. Come on, here we go, all right? Listen, we just don't talk enough about truck nuts as a society, all right? Like, here's a fun fact about truck nuts I bet you did not know, and that's this, all right? 1 in 4 truck nuts has herpes. Or at least they will if I keep walking around putting stickers on them and say herpes, okay? It's just it's a very specific kind of man that throws a rubber sack on his truck, you know what I mean? Like, it's the same kind of guy that likes to call his truck like her or she, you know? Like, gets mad about people's pronouns on the news, but it's a pronoun for their truck. Do you follow along? You know? And that's my cousin, dude. Every time I see my cousin, he's got this big new truck, and he's always like, AJ, look at her, man. Isn't she beautiful, man? Look at her. Isn't she beautiful? It's like, yeah, man, she's beautiful. And those nuts are hanging low, too. Good for you. I did not expect you to be on board with the transportation movement, but here we are. I'd ask you what kind of insurance you have, but I know that it's progressive. So, I know, not often you get a perfect insurance joke. I know, I get it. One thing that was a bummer throughout the pandemic is I didn't get to see my grandma. Because we put her in one of those homes I was talking about earlier because we were sick of her shit. And partially true, partially a joke, okay? And they like COVID hit and they like locked her in there, you know? And yeah, they did. They locked him down. And a couple of things. My grandma's a super cool lady, man. A couple of things you got to know about my grandmother is one, she has Parkinson's. All right, pretty sad, I know. The second thing you got to know about my grandmother is she is a proud concealed carry permit holder. Hey, I'm with it, man. I'm with it. I just didn't know you could keep the permit once you got diagnosed with Parkinson's. I did not know that was in the cards. That's legal in 35 states, I swear to God. All right. A couple years back, before we put her in the home, and they locked her in there, you know, and we went over to Grandma's house for her birthday. And what did Grandma get for her birthday? A shiny new handgun. And we walk in the living room, and she's got it out for the whole world to see. Just shaking it around. But this is a special handgun. It's got a laser pointer on it that she used to play with her cat, you guys. Now, I don't know much about gun safety, okay? Look at me. I don't. I look like I'm going to teach you how to ride a Ferris wheel safely or something, but I'm not. Going to teach you about guns, okay? But if I were to write a book on gun safety, chapter 1's gonna be, hey, don't let the old woman with Parkinson's use a laser pointer handgun to play with her cat. Chapter 2, how to clean your gun, I think. I don't really know, you know? But she got the gun because she was worried about being robbed in the tough suburbs of Des Moines, Iowa. I know, spooky. And listen, I think that gun is gonna do its job and she's never even gonna have to fire it, okay? Because I've never participated in home robbery, all right? I've never participated in any robbery, for the record, okay? All these cameras in here, I've never done that. But I imagine if you're gonna rob a house, like you gotta walk around, you gotta case the joint a little bit, right? So imagine this robbery's like walking around, he's peering in my grandma's windows, and all he sees just this old woman sitting on the couch. Here, Madeline. Here, Madeline. Here, kitty, 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 kitty. There's a pile of cat carcasses in the corner. The TV's all shot up. Nobody's going in there. There's a crazy old woman with a gun, dude. Let's double down on this. Speaking of people who shouldn't own guns, January 6th, we're on Patriots Act. Come on, huh? What, no one in this hip warehouse is down, dude? Huh? Dude, I had family there, all right? We got to admit, it was cool for a second, you know? It was like, damn, whoa, you know? Dude, I had family there, dude. They've been waiting for that day, all right? They've been storing cream corn in barrels in their basement for fucking decades, dude. They were waiting, man. They were waiting, you know? Listen, I think we're all glad that that didn't spawn into Civil War II, Fully Reloaded. That is what I'm calling it, Civil War II, Fully Reloaded. Because, like, I know I'm glad. I'm super glad. Because, like, we already said I'm 30 years old, okay? So if I would have survived Civil War II, Fully Reloaded, as trademark, you can't have that. Like, I would have to pass down the lore of the war, you know? And I don't want to do that. It's not going to sound cool like the first Civil War, you know, like stories from it and shit. Like, because the second Civil War is going to be like a bunch of Gen Z generals that are like renaming the cities and towns that they capture, you know? And it's like, never in my life do I want to have to say the sentence, and that's the day the Proud Boys fell in Aidenstown. And that's the day the Rainbow Coats lost General Brighton's Nintendo Switch at the Siege of Vape Hill. Doesn't roll off the tongue, you know? I don't know. Because I think like the first Civil War, they had like war-trained horses that they rode into battle on, you know? Like, what's my generation riding in on? Fat tire bikes? Bird scooters, you know? Like, what happens when you get wounded? You're like, oh my God, call me an Uber, take me to the Minute Clinic. I don't have health insurance. Yes, the CVS, go, you know? That's cool, man. Sometimes I'll tell that joke in rural America. And people want to fight me, dude. But you guys, it doesn't lean one way. It's just a silly joke. It's just stupid. It's just a stupid joke, you know? But I've built in part of my set. If anyone in here is like, I hate this hippie bullshit. If any undercover cops are in here, I don't know. Yeah. All right, I built in. You guys, you guys want to do some silly ones? We'll do some silly ones. Like, get back on board. Yeah, we're gonna do. Okay. All right. Okay. Tight. Okay. I was gonna do them anyway. Okay. Just do some little silly willies. I want to start a line of my own mopeds and call them Hardly Davidsons. I've got this friend. He can do the alphabet all the way backwards in its entirety, which I've never been able to do the alphabet all the way backwards in its entirety. But I have done X to C, so. Degenerates this side of the room. Health insurance this side of the room. Sticking true, okay. I was watching Court TV this week, and there was like this high-profile murder case, and the judge came back in the courtroom, and he was like, "Ladies and gentlemen, we have a hung jury." And I was like, "Up top, dude, hell yeah!" I was like, "Hey, I'll be the judge of that. Bring these Me Tubes in here. Let's see them, huh? I'll be the judge of this. Is that why you only ever see the jury from the waist up? Is that what's going on down there, huh? Is that why we're all afraid of jury duty? You want to go schlong around with the boys? Well, let's miss a day of work. Go hang dong with the fellas. Come on. Stupid. It sucks being a kid. And I get that. And like, I kind of get that feeling. I get that same feeling like when I go back home. And like where I'm from, and I see a bunch of people I grew up with, you know what I mean? Like, and I hate doing it because every time I go home, I always run into one of those kids I went to middle school with who turn their eyelids inside out. And I'm always reminded that he makes more money than me now. You know what I mean? Like, just never thought that'd be the case, but here we are. I was back a couple years ago, and I went to this bar that like all the kids I went to school with who still live there, they all like hang out at this bar. And in the same night, I got the same insult, the same burn on 3 separate occasions, which was basically this. It was, hey AJ, Hey, what happened to you, man? You look like Forrest Gump after you went on this run. It's not a good burn, okay? We've all seen that movie, the American classic, Forrest Gump, all right? So what you're trying to tell me is that I look like the guy who everyone doubts but still succeeds every time? You're telling me that I look like the guy who once outran a pickup truck full of bullies throwing rocks at his head? You're telling me that I look like the guy who, after a historic college football career, was like, what's next? Oh, Vietnam. Yes, here we go, Vietnam. And then he gets to Vietnam, and what's he do? He saves his whole platoon, except his best friend Bubba, who dies in his arms. And you're telling me that I look like the guy who lived on to carry on his best friend's dream of a shrimping business, went on to fortune and fame? You're telling me that I look like the guy whose only true love treated him like shit for 20 years. 2 decades, people. Jenny. And so finally, she had pity sex with him, right? Got pregnant. Didn't tell him for another 5 or 6 more years until she was diagnosed with HIV. Then all of a sudden she's like, beep, boop, beep, beep, bop. Hey, Forrest, I have your son, FYI. And then she dies of HIV. And you're telling me that I look like the guy who still lovingly raised that son as if life not shit all over my entire existence? You know what, Kyle from my high school algebra class? I'll take it. I'll take it. Because you could have said that I look like Lieutenant Dan at New Year's Eve, and would have been the better burn, if I'm being honest, you know? That's fun. They let me teach children in the daytime. Concern, okay, very good. You guys, like, I heard there's a teacher shortage. I did not know they're hiring Jimmy John's drivers. What's going on with that? That's insane. Yeah, man, I don't teach in the classroom, so calm down if you're concerned. I teach field trips. Yeah, which I should be paid $1 million fucking to do, okay? Yeah, you guys remember field trips? Yeah. Yeah, you remember how the whole week leading up, you're like, I can't wait to fuck off so hard. Who's gonna stop me? Justin's mom, you know? So that's what I do all day, is deal with the fuck off kids. It's weird teaching kids nowadays, man. Like, do you guys remember in 2009 when white women started naming their kids like Braxton and Cashton and shit? And like Declan, you know? That's how you have to say that one, Declan, you know? Because like we've moved into this upper echelon where they're just naming their kids nouns now. I taught a 4-year-old the other day. His name was Danger. Danger. Like, can we just call him Dan for a few years, you know? Let's figure out if he's dangerous, you know? At least only to himself right now. He's just chewing on everything over here. What's going on at home, you know? I don't know. Like, I don't get, like, do his parents think that celebrities with nicknames, do they think that their parents named them that? Like, do they think that American Daredevil Evil's parents named him Evil? Because they didn't. They named him Craig. That's what they named him, all right? Listen, if you want to give your kid a shitty name to live up to, we already have a whole Rolodex of those, all right? Anyone here go with a Seth? Look, that's all I had to say for some of you guys. Like, ugh, gross, yeah. Dude, I grew up with a kid named Shad. Shad. That sounds like you took shit and Chad and smashed them together, right? That sounds like you asked his mom, like, who's the dad? And she's like, shit, Chad, you know? And that's what we named the little fucker, Chad, you know? Here's my favorite name that's not a real fucking name, okay? I have had people in the audience with this name. If you're in here, fucking identify yourself. Gage. Gage. You guys know a Gage? Yeah. You guys clap if you know a Gage. Yeah, we know a Gage. Just a vape cloud behind him at all times. You know what I mean? Just kicking his way out of a rusted out GMC Jimmy, just a mint plume behind him. You know what I'm saying? Gage, that's not a name, dude, all right? Gage what I have on my car dashboard, okay? Gage is also what Seth has in his ears, okay? You follow? Not a fucking name, dude. I like teaching kids. I mentioned I don't teach in the classroom. I work at a nature center, so like a lot of my jobs, I'm the weird snake and salamander guy. I take like snakes and salamanders into classrooms, yeah. So if you ever had that growing up, that wasn't someone's like weird uncle, all right? That's a job you can have. No, but it's cool, man. A lot of my jobs, I go into like Milwaukee public schools, and it's fun. I like it a lot. And it takes me into parts of this city where people are looking around at me like, this honky is either here to buy or sell drugs. You know what I mean? Like, I drive this beat up minivan, and people are very suspicious of me. And it makes for like interesting interactions. I was on like 60th and Hampton. I was driving down the road, going 35 miles an hour. And I'm driving down, and this dude pulls up next to me. Again, we are driving, all right? And he looks over to me, and he's motioning me like this to roll my window down. And I'm like, oh, this is going to be good. And I roll my window down, and he goes, hey, man, you fuck around? And listen, as a kid, I horsed around. And as an adult, yeah, I fuck around a little bit for sure. Yeah. Fuck around. Yeah. But I need to figure out what kind of fucking around we're talking about at 2 p.m. on a Tuesday. You know what I mean? Like, we gotta decipher what kind of fucking around we're talking about. So I asked him, I was like, what do you mean? Fuck around. He was like, well, do you, fuck around? And I was like, oh, man. Catch me on Friday, bro. Right now. You know, teach these kids, dude. It was fun. We fucked around on Friday. It was fun. It was good. It was a good time. It was a good time. No, teaching kids is cool. I like teaching kids. Kids think I'm super cool, and I like kids. But kids for me are kind of like motorcycles. Like I think they're cool, but I don't want one. You know. Like I think they're cool, but they're too loud and too expensive, and I got one to kill me. Do you understand? Like, you know. And like I said, kids, they think I'm like the coolest thing that's ever happened, you know? They like me, but they don't respect me as a teacher, okay? Because I'm not like a regular classroom teacher, and they can like tell I'm not like a regular teacher. They can smell it on me, which is probably the pot, but whatever, you know? Like, and here's a couple examples of how I know they don't respect me. Recently, I was in a K4 classroom, a kindergarten classroom, and I did my little snake and salamander program, you know? And it goes great, and right afterwards, they get let outside for 4-year-old recess, okay? And if you guys have never seen 4-year-old recess, that's just chaos in a chain link fence. That's all it is, okay? Just pandemonium in a square. That's all. Just, you know. And so when I do these programs, I have a little animal cart, and so I have to leave the building. I have to walk by 4-year-old recess, and I'm walking by, and I'm pulling my little animal cart, and that's when I get the courage to look up at 4-year-old recess. And I look up, and that's when I see 2 4-year-old girls pinned up on a chain link fence like a couple of disappointed baseball coaches, all right? Just staring me down. And that's when I heard a 4-year-old girl say to another 4-year-old girl, he's a nice guy. Excuse me, ancient soul trapped in a child's body? What did you just say? You guys ever hear a kid say something beyond their years? One time I was on an airplane, I heard a 5-year-old use the word scripture. No thanks, all right? Just waiting for blood to come from our eyes and that plane to crash, okay? Spooky. Scary. He's a nice guy. Which sounds like a compliment. It does. It really does. But think about it. he's a nice guy is what you say right before you also say someone is shitty at their job. Kevin, great dude, can't sell shit though, you know? Kevin, nice guy, bad salesman, you know? Another time, I was in an elementary school. I was supposed to be there the whole week. So I was on Monday, I had the kindergarten class. Went great. On Tuesday, I came back and I had the first graders, right? So I'm walking through the halls of the school, and that's when I see the kindergarten class that I had the day before, right? And I lock eyes with the little kindergarten in front of the row, you know? And she takes one look at me, looks up at her teacher, tugs on her blouse and says, "There go that animal boy." Not animal man, okay? Not professional snake wrangler, all right? And she said it with such conviction like she knew what my tax bracket was. She got me. I like teaching. Teaching's cool. But teaching, I wish I had a yep job, is what I'm trying to say. Okay, you guys, AJ, what's a yep job, okay? A yep job is like a plumber, like a mechanic, okay? Because the first thing out of those guys' mouth is always a yep. Yep. Yep, you see what you're gonna need here is a new drain plug and an access panel? And I'm not a yep guy, but when I get around those dudes, I turn to one. I'm like, yep, yes, yep. That's what I thought, yes, yep, Yep, what does that cost again? He's like, that's gonna be about $3,000. And I'm like, fuck, what? And he's like, yep. Anyway, if you'll sign this piece of paper, I'm trying to get home early tonight. The wife wants me to put the boat in the water. I'm like, yep, I will sign that. Okay, yep, I will, you know? Teaching is not a yep job, okay? Teaching is a hey job, all right? Because most of my job is this, hey, guys, focus in. Hey, let's focus. Hey, guys in the back. Hey, hey, come on, focus in. Hey, let's focus. No, really, come on, cut it out. Cut it out. Gage, cut it out. Knock it off. Hey, guys, for real, cut it out. Hey, what did I just say? Hey, I don't like to yell. But you guys don't listen. That's my job, okay? That's not the worst job you have. The worst job you have is a well job, all right? And I don't mean like someone who works on a well. We already established that's a yep job, all right? Okay. A well job is like someone who's either a really good person or a really bad person, but it's going to be expensive to see them either way, you know? Like a therapist, you know? Because they're always like, well, how did you feel in that moment? And in this next moment, I'm going to need $600. You know, like that's or like a cop, dude. You guys ever been pulled over? And you're like, officer, what's the problem? And he's like, well, I'm having a bad day. I just had to pay $3,000 for a new drain plug and an access panel. Do you know what that is? I'm like, officer, yep, I do, actually. I do, yep. Or like a doctor, dude. That's the ultimate well job as a doctor. Because a doctor, they're always like, well, I got good news and I got bad news. Which if anyone ever says that to you, they just have bad news, okay? With a little bit less bad news, you know? That's what I say. Well, I got good news, I got bad news. The bad news is cancer's back. But the good news is if you quit that hey job and get a yep job, you just might be able to pay for it, okay? That's a good one. Thanks. It's fun, man. I recently came across a dude who was like having the time of his life working his job. It was like a perfect fit. I get to travel to do comedy, and I was in the very exotic city of Madison, Wisconsin. Ooh, yeah. We have some Madison heads. Okay, very good. I know, it's a pretty big deal. Went a long ways. And so I was there, and I went out to breakfast to this place lovingly known as Smut and Eggs. Okay. Clap if you know what I mean, okay? 2 pervs in the front, very good. Okay, a couple pervs in the back. Okay, very good. If you guys don't know what it is, I'll explain what it is. Okay, so everyone can be in on the experience. This is a place where you can go and eat breakfast, and while you're eating breakfast, on all of the televisions, They are playing hardcore pornography. And when I say hardcore pornography, I mean like the kind of porno that ceases to be pornography and starts to be an anatomy lesson at some point, you know what I mean? And if you want to indulge in this, it happens only on Sundays, the Lord's Day, you know? And it's a hard stop at noon, all right? And I do mean a hard stop, okay? All right? And so we walked in. This was a we situation, by the way. I did not seek this out on my own. This was a we situation. We walk in, and you have to order your like meal from the bar. So we went up, and there was this like 19-year-old kid, just as greasiest 19-year-old kid you've ever seen, just living his dream, dude. Okay, having a fucking blast, dude. And so I said, I'll have the Denver omelet, and I gave him my card, and he goes, oh, sorry, bro, cash only. I was like, oh, here. We're doing the here. Okay, I guess I'll go over to the sticky ATM in the corner over there. And my buddy I was with, he's like, dude, I got it. Don't worry about it. I have cash. And so he paid for my meal. And we sat down. And as we're sitting down, he's like counting his money. Like he can't believe like what's happening. Like he was so perturbed. He's just counting his money. And he's looking at it. And I'm like, dude, what's wrong? And he's like, that kid gave me back too much change. And I was like, oh, the 19-year-old kid who works at the porn bar doesn't do math good? That checks out, actually. I was like, why don't you take these extra ones over here, go to that jukebox and play Tom Jones, She's a Lady. Let's get these old boners going in here. Let's have a time of it, you know? So I have to order an alcoholic beverage. Well, I have to. So I go up to the bar, and I order a Bloody Mary from a woman who is old as time, okay? She is made of dust, I'm pretty sure, all right? She's little and frail, and I said, I'll have a Bloody Mary. And so she's making my Bloody Mary right in front of me. As she's making it, and something is catching her eye on the TV. So she's making it. She keeps looking up. She's making it. She's looking up. She's making it. She's looking up. She's making it. And finally she looks up and she goes, oh, no. I was like, you don't get to be surprised. I'm surprised you have the remote. And she finishes making my Bloody Mary, and I swear to God this is true. She looked me dead in the eyes and she goes, you want me to put a pickle in it? And I got the shivers, okay? All right? I will say, that was the best Denver omelet with a side of anal I've ever had. And it's delicious. Thank you. Thanks. Thank you. All right, we're having fun. Stick around. I got a couple more. It's cool. I like traveling around and do comedy, and like I'm glad I mentioned I was from Iowa tonight, and like sometimes I'll do that for crowds, and they'll be like, Iowa, Iowa, Iowa. And it's like, dude, I didn't know we care about imaginary lines so much. You know, I didn't know that was a problem for anybody. And I'm not gonna make fun of you. Clap if you think that Wisconsin's the best state in the Midwest. I'm not gonna make fun of you, I promise. Okay, that's fine. We all know it's Minnesota, but that's fine. Okay, all right. Oh, you guys are hurt by that. Okay. Listen, I've been everywhere I've ever been in the Midwest. All right, I've been every nook, been to every cranny. Okay, the Midwest, just all the same fucking place. Okay, it is. It's just the same fucking place. Okay, with one caveat. Here's what I'll tell you. This is our culture in the Midwest. Okay, we have two kinds of people here in the Midwest. All right, we have lake people, and we have river people. All right? We do. It's just a fact. Okay, lake people. River people, different people. They are, all right? Different people, okay? Listen, I'm from Iowa, all right? I'm a river person through and through, okay? I didn't have to tell you that. Look at me. You guys knew that right away, you know? Okay? I'm a river person. It's so deep in my genes, they're cutoffs in the summertime. You understand, okay? You follow along? And I love those people, but I've been living in Wisconsin long enough now. I have friends who have lake homes, you know? And you go to a lake home, and what is it? It's nice, you know? There's like a pontoon boat and a dock. and the fire pit's landscape because their dad's an orthodontist or whatever. You know what I mean? Like it's cool, you know. Like back home, I have friends who had houses on rivers. Okay, we didn't call them a river house. Okay, called the river shack. You know. And would we go down to the river shack in the summertime if it wasn't flooded out? Fuck yeah, we go to that for sure, dude. Yeah. You go down to the river shack. Is there a pontoon boat? No. Is there a dock? No. Is there a fire pit? Yes. The fire pit, just a tire, okay? The fire, also just tires. Just a tire fire down by the river, all right? A good old Iowa way, man, you know? I love those people, dude. I actually have a special name for people who live in dirty little river Midwest towns, all right? I call them scuds. That's what I call them. Scuds. Because they do scud stuff, okay? You guys are probably, AJ, what's scud stuff? Here's an example. I don't smoke cigarettes, okay? But if I'm walking down the sidewalk and I see a pack on the ground, I'm going to kick it just a little bit and see if there's one in there, all right? Some of you are finding out your scuds in real time. I like that. That's good, okay? Sometimes I'll chew off a fingernail and use it as a toothpick, okay? All right? That's what I do, all right? Scud stuff. Okay? And sometimes I go back and I get to do shows in like dirty little Midwest Iowa towns. And a couple years ago, I was back in Clinton, Iowa. Anyone had the pleasure? Clinton, Iowa. Just a filthy, filthy, dystopian little river town. Just awful, awful, and it's dystopianism. And I was with a friend of mine. He's kind of king scud in this town. His name's old Donnie T. Old Donnie Townsend. All right, maybe you guys have heard of him. I don't know. Yep, old Donnie T. And so we go out. We do the show. It goes great. Afterwards, we go out to this bar. We're hanging out with the river people, hanging out with the scuds, and all of a sudden, Donnie just disappears. He's just gone. All right, he's gone. I have no idea where he's at, and he leaves, and he's gone for about an hour. Okay, no idea where he went. I'm just sitting by myself. Finally, Donnie comes back, and the first thing he does is puts his finger right in my mouth. Just real river people behavior. You understand? Okay? And that's when I feel a little something in my mouth. I'm like, Donnie, what is that? He says, that is a tab of acid. And I said, shit, okay? It's like, Donnie, where on earth did you procure this tab of acid in this sea of scuds? He said, don't worry about it, man. I just got with this girl I met back here. Her name's Atlanta. And I said, shit, okay? All right? Because those are people with geographic names, dangerous people, scary people, okay? Sure, Austin and Charlotte, you get a pass. But if you meet a man named Calgary, you go the other way, okay? That's his alley, scram, you know? And so pretty soon I get to meet Atlanta. I swear to God this is true, okay? She comes crutching up to us, one leg, swear to God, okay? She leans in real close to me, and she says, hey, did Donnie give that to you? And I say, unfortunately, Atlanta, yes, he did. And she says, well, how do you feel? And I said, we'll see. Those are river people, okay? Do you guys know what happened the last time I went to a lake home? I did Molly on a jet ski, okay? Different strokes for different folks. Hey, thanks for going on that ride with me. You guys have been fantastic. I love you dearly. Goodbye.
AJ Gray!